Hey folks, welcome back to Planet Tyro. It's your boy Donald Wonder, and this week we're actually going to do two book reviews as well as maybe something else special. But I want to actually talk about one particular author this week. I want to speak about Neil Gaiman, the very popular book writer, comic book writer, man of so many trades. And I'm going to get to his comics in the future, but the past couple of months I've been reading a few of his books, and I want to drop my thoughts on two of them in particular. And today we're going to talk about The Graveyard Book. Let's go.
Tyro Media.
Okay, people, so The Graveyard Book, I think this is meant to be sold as a children's book, but it's pretty dark. For instance, it starts out with a murder. It starts off, well, I'll tell you the premise and how it starts off, and I'll try to avoid spoilers. When the book starts from the get-go, you're hearing the narrator talk about a baby in a cot and a man creeping into the baby's house to murder his family. Now, by some twist of fate, the baby walks out of the cot and walks out of the house while this murder is going on. So the assassin only gets to kill everyone else in the family except for the baby. The baby walks into a graveyard, and the ghosts or spirits in the graveyard decide to take care of him while this killer's after him. That's the premise of the book. This boy ends up living in a graveyard because someone killed his family and wants to kill him, and it's a big mystery why that is. So as the book goes on, you follow this boy's life. His name is Bod, and he lives in the graveyard with these spirits. He inherits some, I don't want to say supernatural powers, but being under the protection of the graveyard does give him some interesting abilities. And it's a really fun, flighty, if you want to call it slice of life, it sounds pretty correct to me, slice of life graveyard book. And the thing I like about Neil Gaiman, man, he's an audiobook enthusiast. He loves audiobooks. He loves them so much, he narrates. I think every audiobook that's written by him, he's actually played a part in the narration. In this particular book, The Graveyard Book, he is the sole narrator. And I have to say, Neil Gaiman has a really good storytelling voice. He's very well attuned to telling stories. It's really cool. It's very British, English, whatever you want to call it. But it just sounds perfect. I think it's very convenient that the guy who wrote the book can actually tell the story in such a convincing way, such a very entrancing way. And it made the story have that allure. Now, the book itself, yeah, I enjoyed it mostly. I honestly have mostly positive things to say about it. It kind of for me it kind of wanes a little bit. It goes very interesting and kind of the boy's in the graveyard. I thought he's going to be in the graveyard all the time, but no, he gets older. It's a passage of time in the book, and as he gets older, he leaves the graveyard, this, that, and the other. He's not really meant to leave the graveyard though, because he's being hunted by these people, and it's a mystery. You know what? I really like the second half of the book when he was older more than the first, because he was much more inquisitive and the story picked up a lot more. In the beginning, obviously, things were just passing along. You were getting on the graveyard. But you know what? I enjoyed this book overall. I think The Graveyard Book is a really cool book. Children's book? Would I give it to my nephew? I don't know. But even though it deals with dark elements like murder and ghosts and stuff like that, it isn't dumbed down, but it's played in a very lighty way, so it doesn't seem as intense as it is. But the last confrontation, I thought that was really, really good, really well done. And I do think you don't need to be a kid to. I think this is such a teenage book, really. I think it sits right in the middle of being a teen, between child and adult. But either way, I really liked The Graveyard Book, to be honest with you. I kind of wish it went a bit further, because I wanted to know more about Bod and how he came away with it. Anyway, but you know what? It was good for what it is. It was a nice short experience. I love Neil Gaiman's storytelling methods, and that's why we're going to talk about another book by him later this week. But I'm going to give The Graveyard Book a very, very solid B. It's solid. It's just a solid B. I don't think it's the longest book either. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more Neil Gaiman stuff. So if you haven't seen The Graveyard Book, read it with your kids, read it with your nephew, read it by yourself. I think you're going to have a very good time. It's just very lighthearted for a kind of nightmarish Halloween book. And since we're in October, it's a good Halloween story to read. So yeah, that's about that. So people, thanks for watching. We're going to talk about one more book about Neil Gaiman, even though I'm reading 2 more, but I just want to talk about the ones I've finished right now. So people, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought about the book. Let me know if you have any book recommendations. Good books. I'm a picky guy. If I don't like the books, I ain't going to read them. But I do take requests sometimes. And I think someone did mention, I'm not going to mention who, you know who you are, the one who read my mind, that they wanted me to check this out. And it was on my list anyway. But anyway, people, that's enough rambling for me. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out.